expanding possibilities. The Mindset Zone.
I'm your host, Ana Melikian. I'm here to support you increase your impact while preventing burnout. The Mindset Zone is the place to pause, increase your awareness, and embrace the growth mindset. Find more resources, including information about the Mindset Zone book at mindset.zone. Yes, instead of .com is .zone. Last week, I did an episode about evening rituals, about finishing every day in the best way to start the next day. And I spoke about a ritual that I have to finish every day that includes a breathing exercise. And some of you asked me about breathing. So here I am today speaking about breathing, the power within. And maybe some of you are thinking, okay, breathing, what is the thing about breathing? It's important, of course. If we don't breathe, we are not here alive. Absolutely. And I will invite you to also think why so many traditions put in specific way of breathing so much power. So think about most of the meditation traditions. It starts usually with a way of breathing. So there is something there that is really so powerful and has to do with the very specific characteristics of breathing. My background is psychology. That is how I see the world through those lenses. And breathing always fascinating me to the point that about in 2012, I wrote an ebook called Breathing, the Power Within, and I used to do workshops about breathing and use biofeedback to help us to learn how to use our breathing to enhance our well-being and mental fitness. We have to understand that breathing is one function that keep us alive and happens without us have to think about it. So happens controlled by mechanisms in our nervous system that allow us to be there when we are asleep during our days, that we don't have to consciously think about this is happening. So it's involuntary. Wonderful. It's like the circulation of blood in our body. We don't have to think about it. It happens. The digestion, we don't have to think about it. It happens. Breathing from the moment we are in this world, from our first breath to the last breath. And that is incredible. And at the same time, we can control our breathing. We can hold our breath. We can blow out the birthday candles. We can just play with the flame in one candle without really totally turn the candle off. So we have this power, or we play with our breath to create a soap bubble. We can control our breath in quite incredible ways. And when we have something that happens in an involuntary way, and we also can control in a voluntary way, like breathing, we can create a bridge that is very powerful, almost a bridge between our psychology and our physiology, a bridge between the things outside our control that happen in our body and are difficult to control, and the things we can control at will. Think about in your day-to-day, for instance, if we are crossing a street and a car comes fast, we can very quickly feel energy to get out of the way and save even our lives by going out of the car that is not paying attention. That is great that biologically we are wired that way. But then if we keep with that energy that took us to be able to get out of the way of the car the rest of our day without letting it go, we pay a price for it because it's not the right response anymore, but we still take it with us. And this happens with us a lot. Things that biologically are good for a reason, but then if we don't let them go, then it starts to damage us. Think about chronic stress. And this has to do because as we evolve, there was advantages to be triggered very quickly to have a response, but then all the circumstances were there to help us when that was not needed to calm our systems down. In our modern world, the things are more complex and we almost invent these virtual dangers that are not physically real, like for our ancestors, maybe they were running away from lions. Now we don't have lions to run away, but we create these virtual lions that are chasing us all the time and keeping the stress up. And this creates a very imbalanced dynamic in our body that creates a lot of issues. Our body is wired in a way through our nervous system that we have the central nervous system with the brain and spinal cord. Wonderful. And then there is the peripheral nervous system that has these very important components within it. The part of our peripheral nervous system that connects the central nervous system to the rest of the world and the body, that is the somatic nervous system, that is the one that controls our muscles and our senses. Wonderful. And there is the autonomic nervous system that is by definition outside our control, that has this kind of two subsystems, the sympathetic, what allow us to fight or flight, and the parasympathetic that allow us to relax. In many ways, the sympathetic nervous system is like an accelerator that we have, that is almost the accelerator of a sports car, very sensitive, small thing makes it really activate. That is can be very helpful in some circumstances, but then our foot stays usually stuck there in that constant acceleration, what is not very good and doesn't allow the other pedal, that is the parasympathetic, for us to go there, because it's almost like this brake of an old car that takes a lot of work to really slow us down. So there is this kind of imbalance in our modern life that is so easy to be in the sympathetic nervous system, running, stress, anxiety, and difficult to stop, difficult to smell the roses, difficult to sleep at night, difficult to rest and restore. And breathing, and specifically breathing exercises, can help us lift our foot from the sympathetic nervous system of activation and allow us to really let the parasympathetic system do its work of allow us to just be, relax, and recover, because breathing can be controlled consciously, intentionally, and we can make sure that we are not feeding the sympathetic nervous system, we are nurturing the parasympathetic one. Let me explain. If you count your breaths, the duration of your breathing in and breathing out, or if you are looking into another person and noticing how long it takes to that other person to breathe in and breathe out, and you are counting 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1, 2 is the time that takes to inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. That is a very shallow breathing, very fast breathing. That usually is a sign that the sympathetic nervous system is being activated. You are in hyper state and you need to be breathing at that breathing shows that. By slowing down your breathing, or by helping the other person slow down their breathing, let's say to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you are releasing the accelerator of the sympathetic nervous system and allowing the parasympathetic system to do its work of calm you down and relax. So, through being aware of your breathing rhythm, through slowing down your breath, you are controlling something that by definition is outside of your control, and allowing your body to go from stress to relaxation. Think about the power that this can have in your life. Being aware of your breathing rhythm, that can become a signal to know in which state are you of fight and flight or relax. And usually you will be in fight and flight. You have a tool to relax and to feel the power of it. So just play with this. You can learn how to create moments to pause, to become aware, maybe just before going to bed. Become aware of the rhythm of your breathing. And as you increase your awareness of it, just that of increasing our awareness about the rhythm of the breathing, usually we are slowing it down. And if you want to take one step further, you can experiment with something there like a breathing exercise. And there are so many for very simple ones like the belly breathing. Just focus on the breathing deeply to the point that we feel our belly coming out and in, and just counting until 4 while we exhale, and 4 as we inhale. To other breathing exercises like the 4-7-8 that I described in the previous episode, the one of Dr. Andrew Weil. You can feel the power of breathing as your secret power. I will make sure that I put some resources on the show notes that can help you explore the power within your breathing.
Expanding possibilities, the mindset zone.
Thank you for listening. If you can think of a person who will find this episode helpful, please share it. Spreading the word about the Mindset Zone podcast is very powerful. For extra resources, including information about the book Mindset Zone, Actualize Your Human Potential, go to mindset.zone. Yes, instead of .com is .zone. As always, I'm so grateful that you are here. Expand what's possible for you, for the ones around you, for the world.